the number of registered voters and the even lower turnout of those is kind of frightening. I think these are really important events and that people should start to get involved, because you said it's an opportunity to come out and really meet the candidates, get to know and to express your concerns. And one of the things that they get with you is that you are a representation of the people. So to come to these and to be able to talk to you, you're able to really then represent people. So this is really important. More people show up to these events, more people show up to the primary on top of that, because that's more important than I think people expect it to be in the actual outcome of who their elected officials are.
The biggest complaint when I walk door to door, Mitch, is that people say, I don't even vote anymore because I don't think my government represents me. The way that they get government that represents them is they vote. If they're not going to the polls, especially a primary where you can vote for the best of the best, then you're not going to get anything but the lesser of two evils by the time you get to the general election. So it's very important that you participate from the very beginning.
Let's continue our journey.
Let's do that.
Hi, would you like a sample of kettle corn?
I sure would. But more than that, I'm Sharron Engel. I'm running for U.S. Congress, and I want you to vote for me.
You're running for Congress?
Yes.
Would you like to come in and talk to me about it?
I sure would.
I'm very interested.
Great.
Sharron Engel?
Yes.
So what do you stand for?
Well, I'm lower taxes, less government regulation, and I would like to get the government overreach out of our lives. That's what I stand for.
How will it affect small businesses?
How will it affect small businesses?
I'm a small business.
Yes, I know, and I'm hoping that it will really affect you very positively, because, of course, if we're following the Constitution doesn't allow the federal government to get involved in businesses within the state. So if we get back to the 10th Amendment, we get back to local control, you should benefit by that. I'm hoping that the last tax reform bill that President Trump got through you'll be able to see that on your bottom line right away.
I think I am already, actually. Business kind of picked up. It's usually down in the winter because it's too cold. People are actually coming out and spending money, so that's a treat. I mean,
Yeah,
it really is.
great.
I'm glad to see they got more money in their pockets, or they anticipate that they will. Because the anticipation, they're not afraid to spend a little.
Well, and I think that's what your governor is supposed to be about, is promoting that kind of activity so that the economy is better and people really feel that good economy, and then they're spending their money with small business.
Right, they're not going to buy kettle corn if they're broke.
That's right. It's kind of one of those discretionary items, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just, well, the kids like it and they taste it and they go, wow, I want some. Parents say, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for me.
Yes. Well, tell us some of the other things that have happened here in Virginia City. You said sometimes when the economy is depressed, you really feel it here.
We do. Sales are down. You sit and wait for people to go by to ask them if they want a sample, and nobody's there. So that really hits Virginia City hard, because we're strictly tourist. People don't come here to buy their groceries or things that they absolutely need. They only come here for fun. So they go to the bars, the casino, the shops, and if they have no money, they're not going to come here. So when it's an upturn, I think since the presidential election, it really was an upturn. People started thinking, well, we have a Republican in office now, maybe things will turn around.
And I think you felt that in your business. It has turned around.
It has. It feels good. It's like I take time off midweek to go skiing and snowboarding, which is my passion. I'd rather be on a snowboard. But because I can make enough money on the weekend, I don't have to be here all week in the winter. That's a plus too.
Yes. So it really has enhanced your lifestyle to have a government that is pulling back out of the overreach.
Yes. Out of their hands, out of my pocket.
Right, and when they pull back, that gives you more time, more discretionary money of your own, and a better business. That's
Right,
what
it
I'm
does,
hearing.
it does, it does.
Yes.
So I want that to keep up. So I want to make sure whoever we have in Congress, and I've heard of you. I know your name, Sharron Engel. It's really nice to meet you.
Thank you.
My name is Breck.
It's nice to
And
meet
I'm
you
glad
too.
to hear you running.
Thank you. Well, I need your vote.
Okay.
And of course, the card tells a little bit about me. I've been in the legislature, and I'm one of the legislators that really stood for lower taxes, less government regulation.
Yes.
And
yeah, the regulations can kill a business.
it can. Talk to me a little bit about some of those regulations that, maybe even from the federal level that affect you.
Well, it hasn't affected me too much because I'm a small business, but I hear from some of the other people in town that the cost of business licenses, and they have to fill out this one, and then Form A, Form B, Form C, and why? Why do we have to have that many forms? Because most of the money we're paying for the business license is going to pay the salaries of the people who are asking to fill us the papers out. So it makes no sense.
And when we talk about health care, now, I don't know if you have employees. I see that you have some help here, but
Oh, he likes to help me.
if you have employees, healthcare can be a real challenge if you're trying to find.
Oh, I can't afford to hire anybody. I can't. I have somebody that helps part-time, but my son had a business, and he had to shut it down because of Obamacare.
Well, that's kind of
He
where I
could not
was
afford.
going. You'll see on that card that I fought here in the state against Obamacare in our state. I wanted to get that repealed because I know it's very difficult for a small business or any business to
No, you
survive
can't.
under that kind
You
of
can't.
regulation, taxation, and government overreach. And all of those things apply to Obamacare.
Yeah.
Actually, the Supreme Court said it was a tax.
I know.
And so when we can repeal that, I think that we're doing everyone a service. And I think that at the federal level right now, we have 51 votes in the Senate. We have the majority in the House.
Yes.
The people
Let's
have
use it.
said, that's right, the people said, we want you to get this done. And Congress replied, well, give us the House. So we did. And then they said, well, that's not quite enough. Give us the Senate. So we did. And they said, well, that's not quite enough. Give us the presidency. So we did. And now I'm hearing them say, well, that's not quite enough. We need 60 votes. I think it's time out. We've got 51. Let's get the job done.
51 is all we need.
That's right. Nuclear option. Let's
Yeah,
get the job
yeah,
done. Let's
yeah.
repeal Obamacare.
Let's do it.
All right.
Can you help?
I absolutely want to do that.
I
Yes.
want you in there. I want you in there to help get rid of it. It just doesn't make any sense.
That's right. It doesn't. And, along with that, we need some laws that actually give us some freedom. It's not just enough to repeal Obamacare, but we need to give a law that allows us as citizens to go any place we need to go to get health care insurance. Just like we go outside to get our car insurance, we need to go out, be able to go outside the
Right.
state
You
and
can't be told.
look at your options,
Yeah.
right? And also we need the freedom to buy what we need. So we need the government to take the mandates off of health care. If you're a young man, you don't need maternal
No.
coverage.
And I'm not pro-abortion, so why would I pay for somebody else's?
That's right. So what you need is just a basic policy, and then you can add what you need to it. I have seen that you're a really homeopathic care.
Yes.
You're a dietitian, and you're really into that. As I looked at the things here in your shop, so what you want is really alternatives to what's out there. Sometimes you
Exactly.
like to just look at what are my choices.
Yeah. What are my choices? Don't tell me you have to buy this and you have to pay for everybody else's this and that you'll never use. That makes no sense. I don't want a prostate exam.
Yeah, don't need
They
it.
don't.
Don't
So
need it.
I don't want to pay for it.
That's right. And so I think there are things that our government can do to give us freedom. So it's not really a replacing, it's just taking those regulations, those mandates off, those laws that are actually keeping us from having the freedom that we want and need.
I need you.
Oh, thank
I
you.
need you to be in Congress.
Thank you.
I need help
All
with
right.
things like that. So
Thank you. Well, we'll just have to tell others. Please talk to your friends
I
about
will.
that. You know, every vote counts.
Raleigh,
Yes.
I want you to vote for Sharron Angle.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Thank you both. It's been great
All right.
meeting you
It was
and
wonderful
talking
meeting
with
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming by the shop,
Sure.
and good luck.
And thanks for the sample.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't wait to try it.